Okay, disclaimer. I cannot guarantee if the method that I'm about to show in this video can still work by the time you're watching this video, because there is a good chance that Perplexity might be changing its policy again and essentially rendering this method to be basically not working. But assuming that did not happen, then I guess I can show you on how you can keep using an advanced AI model in Perplexity, particularly the Claude Sonnet model, even though you are running out of credits on your account. So here, as you can see, I don't have any more credits on my account, even though I'm subscribing to the Pro version and I supposed to be getting like 300 credits a day, but with the new update, I'm only getting maybe 20 to 30 credits of advanced queries, so I cannot use big models like GPT, Claude, Grok on my Perplexity account anymore. I have to wait maybe tomorrow, or perhaps I can upgrade to the max version of Perplexity, which is something that I'm not going to do. But despite that limitation, I'm still able to use the Claude Sonnet model on my account. So this is a thread, this is an answer that was created or generated by the Anthropic Claude Sonnet 4.6 model on Perplexity. So this one was created or answered by the Sonar model, which is basically the in-house model in Perplexity. But this one was answered by the Sonnet model. Now, you might be asking, okay, how do you know that this was created or answered by Sonnet and this one was created or answered by the Sonar model? Well, the structure or the style of the answer from these models are very different. Let me just give you a side-by-side comparison. So if you are working with lots of AI tools or multiple AI models, then you will accidentally aware or learn how each AI model will actually answer in a different way. So for the Sonar model, usually the structure is very simple. It is just some headings, bullet points, but there is no styling. There is no bold characters or underlines or italics in the paragraph. It is very simple. It is plain, it is vanilla, and it's just okay. But if you are asking the same question using the Claude Sonnet model, usually the answer is going to look a bit more dynamic. There is going to be a heading, actually some headings, but there is also a somewhat longer paragraph, and in that paragraph there could be some characters or words with these bold style. So they're going to be bold, and sometimes you will add some emojis. And I test the same query on the Claude AI, and as you can see, the structure looks very similar. And again, if I compare that to ChatGPT, it's going to be different. In ChatGPT, usually it has more concise paragraph, it has more bullet points, whereas in Gemini, usually it will add at least one table in the answer. So with all combined, all things considered, I think it is safe to say that this one, the one on the right, was answered by the Claude Sonnet model, whereas this one was answered by the Sonar model in Perplexity. And that detail is very important, because according to this changelog, according to this essentially a blog post from Perplexity, they just added the Claude Sonnet model into their platform, particularly the 4.6 version, and now that model is used as the agent feature or the agent model in the Comet browser. So if you're subscribing to the Pro version of Perplexity, it is going to be using the Claude Sonnet 4.6, and if you're subscribing to the max version of Perplexity, then that model is going to be Opus 4.6. Now, I'm going to show you on how you can still access these models even though, again, you don't have any credits on your account. So again, this method will only work if you're using the Comet browser, which is a browser that was created by Perplexity AI. Now, I'm going to open a new tab on the Comet browser. So it looks like this. Let's say I want to know what people say about OpenCloud. I want to know if this tool is actually work or just a hype. Okay, let me just replace this with OpenCloud. So there are so many buzz about OpenCloud, and I want to know if this is legit tool or just something that I should skip. So this is the keyword, this is the query that I'm going to send to Perplexity. But before I show you how you can use the Sonnet model, I'll just use the best or the Sonar model in Perplexity just to give you a comparison with the Sonnet version later. Now, as you can see, using the Sonar model usually very fast, but the answer is not always the best, at least according to my experience using this model. Okay, now I got the answer from the Sonar model. Now let me just open a new tab again, and I'll send the same question, but I'll click this plus button and I'll select Control Browser. So that will automatically give me access to the Claude Sonnet model. And again, I don't have any credits on my Perplexity account. I have 0 for everything, so I cannot use GPT or Sonnet model, but I can still use the Claude Sonnet model, assuming that I'm using it via this method. So I'm going to send the message and just wait for the Comet browser to receive my query, and will reroute that question or query to the Sonnet 4.6 model. So that is really cool, because now I basically got access to this model, something that I cannot do given that I have 0 enhanced queries on my Perplexity account. So the downside of this method is obviously it is going to be a lot slower, because it is not just reading content from some web pages, it is also analyzing the content visually. So it will visit a page, it will just scan everything, read any content, see any images, and will summarize everything into its final answer later. This is going to be a lot slower, so it is not always ideal in some situations, but I would say this is still a solid option if you want to access this advanced model in Perplexity without waiting any longer, with upgrading to the max version of this AI subscription. Now, I'm still waiting for the answer. Apparently it will take quite some time, so I guess I'll just skip about and I'll show you the final answer. Okay, so this is the answer using the Claude Sonnet via the Comet browser. Now, I'm going to put them side by side so we can compare the visual of the answer from these two AI models. Okay, let me just put them. And there you go. So on the left is the answer that was generated by the Sonar model, and on the right is the answer that was generated by the Claude Sonnet model. And as you can see, the Sonnet model is usually a lot simpler speaking visually, but the Sonar model is simpler, but the Sonnet model is a lot more dynamic. There are some styles in the answer, there are different formats, so this is honestly the kind of formatting that I prefer the most compared to this simple answer from the Sonar model. Now, one caveat when using this method is that you cannot rewrite the answer from this Sonnet model using a different AI model. If you scroll down to the very bottom, you cannot see any rewrite button, which is kind of strange, but that is the nature of this method. You cannot rewrite it. This is basically the final answer that you receive. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But other than that, I would say this is a decent alternative. This is a very interesting and very creative workaround if you want to still use an advanced or smarter or better model in Perplexity without having to upgrade to the max version or without having to wait any longer for your credits to replenish. So I hope you find something that is useful in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. I wish you a great day ahead.